left the same way twice. Some mornings you'd kiss my forehead before the coffee finished brewing. Some nights you'd shout, "Don't wait up," halfway down the stairs. Sometimes you'd just smile, lift your keys, and disappear behind the front door. I thought there would always be another goodbye tomorrow. I never learned which one was your favorite. The last time you left, you asked if I needed anything from the grocery store. I said, "Just come home." You laughed, "That's easy." Neither of us knew those ordinary words would become the heaviest conversation I'd ever carry. Now I replay every farewell like someone searching for a hidden message. Was there a pause I didn't hear? A look I answered too quickly, a chance to hold you 5 seconds longer. I never learned your favorite goodbye, maybe because goodbye was never supposed to become your last sentence. These days when people leave, I notice everything. The sound of their footsteps, the way they close the door, whether they wave once or twice, how long their car stays at the stop sign. Love changes you in strange ways. It teaches you to treasure the moments you once rushed through. If I ever love again, I won't save the best words for anniversaries. I'll spend them on Tuesday mornings, on grocery lists, on ordinary departures. Because forever never announces which goodbye will be the last one, and maybe that's why the smallest goodbye is sometimes the greatest love we ever speak. There was a night before the silence learned our names, before the empty side of the bed became just another shape. You were reading by the window, I was fixing the old lamp. neither of us said a word, because peace never needed one. The kettle started singing, you asked if I wanted tea. I answered without looking up. The usual. Nothing in that room knew it was precious. Before we became a memory, we were simply two people living inside the smallest hours without trying to make them last. Before we became a memory, forever felt ordinary. It wore worn out slippers and forgot where it left the keys. I miss the version of us that never hurried sunsets, that believed tomorrow would always knock twice. We planned a little garden with tomatoes and wildflowers. You wanted yellow roses, I wanted anything that would survive the winter. I still smile, thinking about how serious that conversation felt, as if flowers could settle every fear. Years have softened the edges of your voice. I no longer remember every word you said, but I remember the pauses, the comfortable ones, the kind that only exist when two hearts already know their home. If I could borrow one evening from the past, I wouldn't choose our first kiss or our last embrace. I'd choose that ordinary Tuesday when nothing remarkable happened, because now I understand that was the miracle. Before we became a memory, we never imagined one day we'd have to remember at all. The alarm would never ring. We'd let the morning choose a time, sunlight crawling through the blinds, drawing quiet lines across your face. I'd make the coffee way too strong. You'd laugh and pour more milk, and steal the toast from my plate, like you always said you wouldn't. The neighbors would mow their lawns, a dog would bark next door. Nothing extraordinary, just another Sunday we once believed would happen forever. If we had one more Sunday, I wouldn't ask for miracles. I'd only ask the clock to forget our address. If we had one more Sunday, I'd memorize the sound of your laughter, mixing with the dishes in the kitchen sink. We spent so much of forever talking about tomorrow. We forgot to notice how beautiful the ordinary looked standing beside us. I can't remember what we argued about, only that you reached for my hand before we crossed the street. Funny how love keeps the tenderness and quietly erases the reasons it broke. Now every Sunday afternoon feels a little slower, as if the week itself still expects you to arrive. I open every window, even in the winter, because you always said a house should breathe. Some habits outlive people, some promises outlive words. If we had one more Sunday, I'd let the silence stay. I wouldn't fill it with fear of losing you. I'd simply sit beside you, watching the daylight move, knowing that happiness doesn't need to announce itself. It only needs two people who don't yet know they're already living the memory they'll miss the most. July arrived with open windows, warm air drifting through the hall. You said let's waste the whole weekend like time belonged to us all. We bought peaches from the market, their sweetness stained our hands. You laughed because I couldn't tell the difference between ripeness and chance. Someone was mowing the neighbor's lawn. Children chased the evening light. Nothing nothing looked like a goodbye on that ordinary night. July wasn't ready for us. The sun stayed out too long. Even the sky kept pretending nothing could go wrong. July wasn't ready for us. It held the daylight tight, as if one more golden hour could teach love how to survive. Weeks later, the same warm breeze slipped beneath my door, but it carried only silence now. Not your footsteps on the floor. The peaches disappeared from stores. The grass turned pale and dry. Seasons never ask permission before they say goodbye. I used to blame the ending on words we didn't say. Now I think some stories end because people change, not into strangers, just into someone new. Someone whose tomorrow no longer matches you. If we met another summer, I'd still recognize your smile, but I wouldn't ask the season to turn itself around. I'd let the afternoon grow older. I'd let the sunset fall, knowing beautiful things don't have to last forever to become beautiful at all. July wasn't ready for us, neither were we. But for one bright summer, love felt exactly the way forever was supposed to feel. Friday came the way it always did. The restaurant was busy, plates clinked. Someone celebrated a birthday near the window. The waiter smiled when he saw me, just one today. I nodded, he didn't know he had asked the saddest question in the room. There used to be 2 menus, 2 glasses of water, 2 opinions about what to order. You always stole the first bite from my plate, claiming it tasted better that way. I always pretended to be annoyed, secretly hoping you'd do it again. One chair stayed empty, not because no one sat there, because no one could ever sit there. exactly like that. The waiter brought the check. He almost placed it on your side of the table. Old habits belong to more than lovers outside. The rain had started. I stood beneath the awning, watching strangers run for cover. Then I walked home without hurrying, because healing wasn't leaving the empty chair behind. It was finally understanding that love can leave a place and still leave gratitude sitting there long after the table has been cleared. I saw you by the bookstore on an ordinary Tuesday. Sunlight caught your hair the way it always did in May. You were talking to a stranger like the world was wide and new. Then you looked straight through me as if I wasn't you. Stood there with a heartbeat, trying not to make a sound. Funny how 1 second can turn a whole day upside down. You smiled like we never happened, like my name had never crossed your mind, as though our years were borrowed and quietly returned with time. Smile like we never happened, without anger, without blame. Just a peaceful kind of distance that forgot the shape of my name. I walked into the bookstore, pretending I belonged. Picked up a novel I would never read and stayed a little too long. Outside the city carried on, buses came and went. No one could have guessed how much that small smile meant. It wasn't cold or cruel, it wasn't meant to hurt. That's what made it harder. You'd already crossed the bridge first. Maybe love doesn't always leave with broken words and tears. Maybe sometimes it disappears, one quiet year at a time. Maybe healing looks like this: one heart arrives before the other, one learns to close the chapter while one still reads the cover. I don't wish you'd stopped or asked me how I've been. Some stories earn their ending by never starting again. So I watched the traffic change until the light turned green, and For the first time I didn't chase what couldn't see me. You smile like we never happened. I carried that smile home, not as another wound, but as the truth I'd finally known. Every Saturday you'd pull me across the street, always 10 minutes before closing. The cinnamon rolls disappear first, you'd say, as if it were the most important rule in the world. The woman behind the counter knew your order before you spoke. She'd smile at me and quietly wrap one extra cookie on the house. You always broke the warm pastry in half, giving me a bigger piece. When I asked why you'd shrug, you'll notice if it's smaller. I laughed because you were right. The bakery closed at 6. That never changed, only we did. Months after you were gone, I walked in again, the same bell above the door. The same smell of butter and sugar, the same old woman behind the counter. She looked at me, reached for 2 paper bags, then stopped. Oh, she whispered, I forgot. I smiled, so did I. She placed one cinnamon roll on the counter. This one's enough. I carried it home without eating it, not because it tasted like you, because it tasted like Saturdays before life started counting endings. Now whenever fresh bread fills the air, I don't think about goodbye. I think about warm hands, shared breakfasts, and someone who always You always read 2 chapters ahead, then stopped right before the ending. You rush too much, you tell me. If a story is good, why would you want it to end sooner? So we sit on opposite ends of the couch, your feet resting against mine. The room so quiet we could hear the pages turning one autumn evening. You slipped a bookmark between the chapters, closed the cover and said, we'll finish it tomorrow. Tomorrow never came. The book stayed on the shelf for months, exactly where you left it. I couldn't open it, not because I was afraid of the ending, because I was afraid there wouldn't be any more pages with you beside me. One rainy afternoon, I finally read the last chapter. It wasn't the ending you expected. It wasn't the ending I wanted. Somehow that felt right. Stories rarely end the way we imagine. People don't either. Now the book sits beside 100 others, its corners soft with age, its spine a little worn. Whenever someone asks if it's worth reading, I always say yes, but don't hurry. Because once someone I love taught me that beautiful things deserve to be lived one page at a time. My phone lit up just after midnight, an unknown number, the kind I almost ignore for one impossible second. I hoped it was you, not because I believed you would call, 'cause hope sometimes forgets how time works. It rang once, twice, 3 times. In silence I stared at the screen. Long after the light disappeared, the call I almost answered was never yours. Still, it carried me back to evenings when your name was the only notification I wanted to see. Back then you'd call just to ask, are you awake? Even though you already knew I was waiting, we never talked about anything important. The weather, a movie, what to cook tomorrow. Some nights we simply listened to each other breathe. Strange how the conversations that meant the least become the ones you miss the most. I don't wait for late night calls anymore. The phone sleeps beside my bed. The silence no longer feels like punishment. Every now and then an unknown number still appears. Now, instead of wondering if it's you, I answer, because life keeps calling even after love hangs up. And maybe healing begins the moment you stop waiting for yesterday to dial your number again. You noticed before I did, without asking. You slipped off your coat and placed it around my shoulders. It'll be cold when the sun goes down, I said. I'm fine. You smiled, I know. Take it anyway. I wore it for the rest of the walk. The sleeves covered my hands. It smelled like cedar laundry. Sometimes someone does. A friend, a stranger, a child waiting for the bus. Every time I hand it over, I hear your voice. Without hearing it, love has a way of surviving inside the things we pass on, not as memory, as instinct, as generosity, as the quiet decision to make sure someone else gets home warm. We left our phones at home without a second thought, caught the morning train with nowhere we had to be. You bought flowers from a man on the corner, then tucked one behind my ear, like the whole world had slowed down just for us. We wandered unfamiliar streets, reading names we couldn't pronounce, sharing one umbrella, even though the rain had already stopped. There isn't a single photograph from that entire day, no proof we were ever there. The day we forgot to take pictures became the one I remember best. Not because I can see it, because I still can feel it. The day we forgot to take pictures, never needed a frame. Some memories survive without asking to be seen. Years later, I found the train ticket pressed inside an old novel. The ink had almost disappeared, but somehow my heart filled in every missing letter. I remembered your laugh echoing beneath a stone bridge, the bakery where we shared one cinnamon roll, the old musician who played the wrong notes with the happiest smile I'd ever seen. Nothing important happened, which is exactly why it became unforgettable. Love isn't built from anniversaries. It's built from afternoons that never knew they were becoming someone's favorite memory. If I had one picture from that day, I'd probably not as regret, but as a quiet reminder that the most beautiful moments often pass by with empty hands and completely full hearts. There was never anything special about that little cafe. The coffee was average, the chairs were old, the windows rattled whenever the buses passed. Still, you insisted on going there every single Saturday. Not because of the coffee, because you always reach the door first. You'd pull it open, step aside and wait for me with that quiet smile you never knew I loved. It became so ordinary, I stopped seeing it until the first Saturday you weren't there. The door was heavier than I remembered. No one held it, no one smiled. Inside everything looked exactly the same except me. I ordered the same drink, sat at the same table, watched strangers come and go, holding doors for each other without realizing how unforgettable a simple gesture can become. People think love is found in vacations, celebrations, perfect photographs. But sometimes love is simply someone noticing. You have your hands full and reaching for the handle before you ask. These days, whenever I see someone behind me, I hold the door a little longer. Not because I'm especially polite, because somewhere without meaning to, you taught me that kindness is how love leaves fingerprints on the people who survive it. And every now and then, as the door swings slowly closed, I still expect to hear your footsteps following mine. traffic lights turn red again. You looked at me and smiled. Let's not go home yet. So we kept driving. No destination, no plans, just the windows down and the radio losing its signal. Somewhere beyond the city we crossed a bridge neither of us had noticed before. Stopped beside a quiet lake, shared a bag of chips for dinner. Watched the sky trade blue for amber, amber for violet, violet for stars. No photographs, no promises, just the peaceful certainty that tomorrow would look a lot like today. The evening we didn't go home was never meant to change our lives. It simply reminded us how little happiness sometimes asks for. You skipped a stone across the water, it bounced 7 times. You celebrated like we'd won something. Maybe we had the drive back was almost silent, not because we had nothing left to say, because we had finally found a silence that belonged to both of us. Years later I've forgotten the name of that road. I couldn't find the lake again even if I tried. But every now and then when work runs late or the sunset begins to spill across the windshield, I think about turning left instead of right, not to find you, not to return, only to remember that once, for one beautiful evening, 2 ordinary people got wonderfully lost, and somehow that became the place I still call home. You always pack too much, I always traveled light. You'd laugh and say we'd miss the train if I kept checking the time. We argued over little things like where to stop for food, then made up before the next red light the way good lovers do. No one ever teaches you how an ordinary day can quietly become the last one you will save. We never practiced goodbye. We thought we'd have forever. We learned every way to could explain. Your toothbrush stayed beside mine for weeks after you left, not because I needed it, but because I wasn't ready yet. The neighbors asked about you. I smiled and changed the subject. Some truths are easier to carry than to tell. Years have a gentle habit of sanding down the sharp. The memories that once cut deep now only touch the heart. I don't count what we lost anymore. I count what we were given. 1,000 ordinary moments that made an ordinary life worth living. If we ever meet again on some unfamiliar street, I hope we don't apologize for who we couldn't be. I'd rather thank you for every slow Sunday, every shared umbrella, every reason that love stayed. We never practiced goodbye. Maybe that's why it hurt, because real love never expects the ending first. And if another heart finds its way to mine someday, it won't replace your story. It'll simply write a different page. Some people become forever, even after they are gone. Not because they stayed, but because they changed the song. I found it between the pages of an old cookbook. Your handwriting quick, a little crooked, milk bread. Lemons don't forget the pasta. At the bottom, in smaller letters, your favorite cookies. You never wrote my favorite, you always wrote your favorite. As if my happiness belonged on every list you made. The grocery list you left behind didn't mention love. It didn't have to. Love was already there. Between the coffee and the tomatoes, I stood in the kitchen little piece of paper longer than anyone should. It wasn't important, which made it impossible to throw away. I remembered Saturday mornings, you pushing the cart, me pretending we didn't need dessert, you putting it in anyway, saying life's too short to skip the good stuff. You were right, just not in the way either of us expected. Now I shop alone, I still pause in front of the cookies. Sometimes I buy them, sometimes I don't. But every single time I hear your voice laughing at me for overthinking something so small, maybe that's what remains after love. Not dramatic speeches, not perfect endings, just the gentle ways someone keeps showing up in the ordinary choices you make without realizing the list has faded now. The ink almost gone, but one line is still easy to read. Not because the paper kept it, because my heart did. Your favorite, somehow, even after all these years. You still remembered what made me smile. The old house still faces west, just like the day we found it. You stood on the empty porch and said, the sunsets will be enough. The paint was peeling then, the fence leaned a little too far. You saw a future in broken things, I only saw the work. You measured every room with dreams instead of tape, talking about children we'd never meet, and birthdays we'd someday celebrate. I nodded as if forever could be signed into the walls. The house still faces west. Every evening the windows glow like Last autumn I drove by, someone had planted roses. The porch was painted white, the fence finally stood straight. A little bicycle rested against the mailbox, and tiny shoes were lined beside the steps. For a moment I felt jealous, not of them, but of the life that kept moving without asking who first dreamed it. Then I smiled, because the house was never meant to keep our story. It was only the place where we believed anything was possible. Love isn't always the future we imagine together. Sometimes it's the courage to be happy that someone else gets to live it. Bottom of my drawer, no tag, no note, just cold metal from before. I held it to the light, turned it in my hand. Funny how a little thing can take you back again. The key that doesn't fit still carries yesterday. A tiny piece of forever with nowhere left to stay. The key that doesn't fit opens nothing now, but somehow it unlocks every memory. Somehow I remember rainy Sundays, your feet across the floor, the sound of you humming before I closed the door. Back then we never wondered if we'd become a past. We thought every ordinary day would always last. The key that doesn't fit belonged to who we were. us to a hallway or a wooden door. The key that doesn't fit taught me something true. Sometimes it's not the lock that changes, it is you. So I placed it in a little box beside forgotten things, not because they meant so little, but because they gave me wings. Love was never wasted just because it ended slow. Some people are the reason you learn when to let go. The key that doesn't fit can finally rest tonight. I don't need to force what isn't mine to find. The key that doesn't fit will never turn again, but I'll always be thankful for where it once had been. The key that doesn't fit, the key that doesn't fit. Some doors are only meant to teach us how to leave. The key that doesn't fit, the key that doesn't fit. And somewhere past that doorway, a new life found me first. The band was packing up, chairs were upside down. Someone turned the lights halfway across the little town. You reached for my hand like it was nothing new. One more song, you softly said, so I can remember you. The record skipped for just a breath and found its rhythm again. We moved without a single word, like strangers wearing skin that still remembered yesterday. This room will forget our footsteps before the morning comes. The floor won't keep our shadows, the air won't keep our song. But if love lives anywhere, it lives inside this spin. To but because you knew someone had to move. I watched you cross the empty room, your coat over your arm. You never once looked back, you didn't need to. There are nights I still remember the warmth of your fingertips more clearly than your voice or the color of your eyes. It's strange what time decides to carry through the years. If I ever hear that melody in another crowded place, I won't search every face, hoping it is yours. I'll simply close my eyes, smile for one quiet verse, and thank the night that taught two ordinary people how extraordinary one song could become the last slow dance. Didn't promise forever, it promised one honest moment, and somehow that was enough. You were never impatient, not at train stations, not in long grocery lines, not even when the rain changed our plans. You always found something beautiful to notice, a bird on a power line, a child chasing bubbles, the smell of fresh bread from across the street. Waiting to you was never wasted time. One evening I called and said, I'm running late. You laughed, I'll be here. Simple words, simple promise. I didn't know I'd spend years remembering them. When I finally arrived, you were sitting outside the cafe, a cold cup of coffee still untouched. You smiled like 20 minutes had been nothing. We talked until closing, walked home without holding hands. Not because we loved each other less, because we thought there would always be tomorrow. The last time you waited for me didn't feel different. There were no signs I'm on my way. I never mind waiting. I look around, I watch the world continue being itself. Because you taught me that love isn't measured by how quickly someone arrives. Sometimes it's measured by the kindness of the person who chooses to wait. And if somewhere beyond all these years our paths cross again, I hope you won't have to look for me. This time I'll already be there. Every night at 9:30, your kitchen window came alive, a little square of golden light waiting at the end of mine. I'd cross the street before the signal changed, just to see your silhouette moving through the curtains. You'd never know. I love that view, not because it was beautiful, because it meant you were home. The light in your kitchen always found me first, before your voice, before your smile, before your footsteps down the hallway. The light in your kitchen made the whole street feel less lonely. One winter evening I brought takeout instead of flowers. You laughed and said, good, flowers can't be shared. So we ate from paper boxes, standing at the counter, watching snow collect on parked cars. Nothing about that night felt important until it became one of the last months after you were gone. I walked that street again. The curtains were different, the walls had been painted, someone else was making dinner. The soft addresses. Now whenever I pass a glowing window on an ordinary evening, I wonder how many quiet promises are being made inside. How many people have no idea they're living. The moments someone will treasure for the rest of their life. We left the city without a plan. No hotel booked, no places saved. Just one old road stretching farther than neither of us could see. You unfolded a paper map. I laughed, we have GPS. You folded it again. I know I just like believing we could get lost. We missed our turn 3 different times. Stopped at a tiny diner where the waitress called everyone honey. Shared one slice of blueberry pie. Watched an old couple dance to a song neither of us knew. The map stayed in the glove compartment unopened. We never needed it, because somehow every wrong turn led us somewhere worth remembering. After you left, I found that same map, still folded, still clean, covered only with the crease marks of possibilities. I trace the highways with my finger, trying to remember whether happiness was a destination or simply the person sitting beside me. Now when I travel, I don't mind missing an exit. I don't panic when the road bends somewhere unexpected. You taught me that not every detour is a mistake. Some become the stories we tell for the rest of our lives. The map we never needed still rests inside my car. forever. You were waiting. Restaurant closed at 10. We stayed until the chairs were upside down and the music had already stopped. The waiter smiled, locked the front door, then waved as we stepped into the cool night. You slipped your hands into your coat pockets. I walked beside you without touching your arm. The city felt slower after midnight. Streetlights painted long shadows across the sidewalk. You started telling me about a book you've been reading. I interrupted to point at the moon. You laughed, not because it was funny, because you knew I'd always get distracted by small, beautiful things. The night we didn't say I love you was the night I believed it the most. No grand confession, no dramatic goodbye, just your shoulder brushing mine. Every few steps, as if the distance between us had already disappeared. When we reached your building, you turned the key, paused, then asked, same time tomorrow. I answered, of course, as though tomorrow had signed a contract with forever. Looking back, that evening didn't become precious, because it was our last. It became precious because neither of us spent a single minute trying to make it unforgettable. We simply lived it, and maybe that's what love is. Not the words people remember, but the ordinary nights that quietly become the reason they never forget. There's a bench beside the river, paint fading into gray. We stop there every Friday on the long walk home from work. You told me stories that wandered without endings. I pretended not to notice how your hand kept finding mine. The wind pushed loose hair across your eyes. I almost leaned a little closer. You almost stayed. Then someone called your name from the other side of the bridge. The moment slipped away like a leaf on moving water. We never kissed there, but somehow that place remembers the space between our shoulders more than any photograph could. We never kissed there. Maybe that's why it lasts. I'm almost refuse to grow old. Years later I crossed that bridge on a different kind of evening. The bench had been replaced, the trees had grown taller. Two teenagers were sitting there, laughing over nothing. Exactly the way we once laughed over everything. For a second I wanted to tell them, stay a little longer. You'll never know which ordinary moment will become your favorite memory. Instead I kept walking. Love isn't only the moments we held each other. Sometimes it's the inches we never crossed, the words we almost said, the future we almost reached, the kiss we almost shared. If I could change one thing, I still don't know whether I'd close that distance. Because maybe the beauty of that evening was never the kiss. It was believing there would always be another Friday. The cafe was almost empty. Only one old speaker still filled the room with music too soft for anyone else to notice. You looked up from your cup and said, I love this song. I'd never heard it before. You didn't sing along, you just smiled. The kind of smile that belongs to a memory When the chorus arrived, you closed your eyes. For a few seconds the whole world seemed to breathe at your pace. Then the song ended, another one began. You frowned just a little, I wish it were longer. I laughed, you always say that. You answered, only about the good ones. Years later, those words found me again. Not in a cafe, not on the radio, but on an ordinary afternoon, when I realized I wasn't mourning the way we ended. I was mourning how beautiful it felt before we knew there would be an ending at all. Love is strange, it doesn't ask us to remember every conversation, every date, every promise. Sometimes it asks us to carry one unfinished melody for the rest of our lives. Now, whenever a favorite song ends too soon, I don't press replay. I let the silence come, 'cause you've taught me that some songs are beautiful, not because they last forever, but because for a little while they made everything else disappear. What you wore that day, I don't remember if the sky was blue or full of rain. I couldn't tell you which song was playing in the background. Time has taken those little details one by one, but it never touched the sound of your laugh. It started quietly, like you were trying not to laugh at all. then it escaped. Bright, impossible to stop, making everyone nearby smile without knowing why. You laughed when I burned dinner, you laughed when I missed the train, you laughed so hard one summer evening that we had to pull the car over because neither of us could breathe. I thought I'd remember your face forever. Instead, it's your laughter that still finds me. Sometimes I hear someone across a crowded station, and for one impossible second my heart forgets how many years have passed. It isn't you, it never is. Still, I turn around, not because I believe you'll be there, but because love leaves echoes, and some echoes sound exactly like hope. If memories had voices, yours wouldn't whisper, it would laugh. The kind of laugh that made ordinary afternoons feel like holidays. The kind of laugh that convinced me life was kinder than I'd imagined. I don't miss every conversation, I don't remember every promise. But if heaven ever lets memories cross the distance, I hope the first thing I hear isn't my name. I hope it's you. Laughing before I even open my eyes. The fan was humming softly, windows open to the night. You trace little circles on the back of my hand. We weren't chasing sunsets or counting shooting stars. We were arguing over which movie to watch on a Tuesday in July. Your hair smelled like sunshine, fresh from hanging outside. You wore my oversized shirt like it had always Something about that evening asked to be remembered. The summer we never noticed became the one I miss. Not because it was perfect, but because we never tried to make it unforgettable. The summer we never noticed was hidden in plain sight. Love doesn't always arrive with fireworks. Sometimes it sounds like two people laughing over burned popcorn. I found that old blanket folded in the closet, still carrying grains of sand from a beach we almost skipped. The ice cream shop is gone now. A bookstore took its place. Someone else is making memories where we once wasted hours. Funny how life doesn't mark the important days. It lets them pass quietly, then returns them years later when you're least prepared. If I could visit one season again, I wouldn't choose our first kiss or our last embrace. I'd choose that ordinary afternoon when you reached across the couch to steal the remote and accidentally held my hand a little longer than either of us admitted. Maybe that's the real story we never tell enough. Not the way love ended, but the thousands of tiny moments that made it worth beginning. The summer we never noticed still follows me sometimes in warm evening air and open windows, reminding me that the happiest days rarely know. They're the happiest until they're gone. Every Sunday afternoon, you ask for the same table, the one beside the window. Not because the view was better, because you liked watching people walk by. You invented your piece toward me, pretending you weren't hungry. Years later I walked past that cafe again. The window was still there, the table was still there, only the stories had changed. A young couple sat where we used to. They were smiling for no reason, exactly the way we did. I almost turned away instead. I stood there for one quiet moment, grateful that the world hadn't stopped making room for love. Sometimes the places we leave behind don't belong to our memories. They belong to everyone who still believes that an ordinary afternoon, a shared dessert, and someone looking up to say, stay a little longer, can become the kind of happiness people spend the rest of their lives trying to find. Platform 7, 8, 15. Your ticket's still inside my jeans. The loudspeaker called your name, but only silence came. I watched the doors begin to close with both our dreams inside that train. One seat stayed empty all the way, like it was waiting anyway. You never took that train, but I still hear the wheels rolling through the life we planned on forgotten steel. You never took that train, it left without goodbye. Sometimes forever disappears before you know it's gone. Shop beside the tracks still serves the same old cup. I sit beside the window now, watching strangers fall in love. There's a couple holding hands, making plans for summer rain. I smile because I know that look. We once looked the same. Maybe life is just departures. Some arrive, some drift away. Not every heart is meant to stay until the final station. If I could stand there once again, I'd never check the time. I'd simply hold you one more minute before the warning chime. You never took that train, but I finally understand wasn't raining when we left the house. The sky was pale, the streets were dry, and you said, we won't need it. Halfway through the afternoon, the clouds rolled in. People hurried. Storefronts filled. Someone laughed as the first drops fell. We stood beneath a little bus stop roof, close enough to hear each other breathe. You reached for my hand without saying anything. Neither of us was in a hurry. The umbrella we forgot bought us 20 extra minutes, not because it kept us dry, because it gave us nowhere else to be. Rain turned the windows into moving paintings. Cars carried rivers in their headlights. You leaned against my shoulder and whispered, I wish every delay could feel like this. I didn't answer. Some moments deserve silence more than words. Years later, whenever storms arrive, I don't rush for shelter anymore. I watch strangers crowd beneath awnings, sharing borrowed space, smiling awkwardly, beginning conversations they never expected to have. It reminds me that love rarely arrives when everything goes according to plan. Sometimes it begins because the weather changes, because the road closes, because two people wait 5 minutes longer than they meant to. The umbrella we forgot never really mattered. What mattered was discovering that even the rain couldn't make us wanna leave before each other. Whenever we travel, you you always chose the window, not because you loved the view, because you loved watching the world disappear behind us. You'd rest your head against the glass, drawing invisible shapes on the fog. Whenever the weather turned cold, I'd ask, what are you looking at? You'd always answer, everything we're leaving, everything we're about to find. I didn't understand then, I do now. The window seat was yours, mine was beside you. That was enough. The train could have gone anywhere, as long as your shoulder found mine when you fell asleep. Years later, I still choose the aisle, even when the window is free. It doesn't feel right seeing the world from your side. Last month, a little girl sat by the glass, pressing her hand against the rain, smiling at every tunnel like it was magic. Her father smiled back, patiently answering questions he'd probably heard 100 times. I caught myself smiling too. Some joys never belong to only one person. Maybe that's how love continues, not by returning, but by teaching us to recognize beauty when it quietly appears again. Sometimes I wonder if somewhere you're still asking for the window seat, still chasing sunsets, still counting rivers, still believing that every journey is worth taking. I hope you are, because whenever the train begins to move, I still find myself looking toward the glass, expecting you to point outside and say, look. You'll miss it if you blink. The first snow came too early. You smiled and called it luck, said every winter had a way of making cities softer. We wandered through the quiet streets with frozen hands and tired shoes, stopping at every little shop that filled the air with warmth. You tried on a wool scarf, the color of the evening sky. I said it looked like home on you. You laughed and rolled your eyes. Neither of us imagined we were already counting down the winter before goodbye. Didn't look like the end. It looked like shared umbrellas and cold hands finding warmth. The winter before goodbye looked gentle from the outside. No one could have guessed how close spring was to blooming without us. After you left, the snow kept falling anyway, covering the footprints we forgot to erase. I walk those same old streets long after they turned white, hoping the silence would finally tell me why. Instead it gave me nothing except the sound of snowfall, soft enough to remind me that not everything breaks loudly. Some endings arrive like shattered glass, others arrive like snow at midnight. Quiet, certain, impossible to stop. Now every December I still pull my coat a little tighter, not because I'm lonely, but because the cold remembers you before I do. And when the first snow returns, I don't ask it to bring you back. I simply stand beneath it for one peaceful moment, thankful that once there was someone who made winter feel warm enough to call it home. Call it home. We spent an entire winter looking for somewhere to live, not a perfect house. Just one with enough sunlight for your little plants. You always check the kitchen first. I always stood by the windows, imagining what the mornings would look like there. One apartment had a crooked balcony. You loved it. You said we could drink coffee here when we're old. I laughed. You've already planned retirement. You shrugged. I've already planned you. Neither of us knew how dangerous simple dreams could be. The year we owned not as regret as a life that quietly kept walking without us. Sometimes I pass neighborhoods we once explored, different names on every mailbox, different curtains, different stories. Somewhere someone is standing on that crooked balcony, watching the same sunset you once borrowed with your imagination. I hope they notice it. I hope they never hurry inside. Because beautiful things deserve witnesses. People often ask whether I miss you. The truth is, I miss the future. We accidentally built out of conversations. The furniture we never bought, the holidays we never planned, the old age we promised each other without realizing how impossible promises can become. Still, if I had to choose again, I'd still walk through every empty apartment beside you. Even knowing none of them would ever become home. You met me when the world was small and every dream fit in our hands. We thought the future waited for us just beyond the neighborhood. We counted airplanes in the evening, made wishes no one heard, certain every promise spoken would outlive every word. Years don't arrive all at once, they borrow little pieces, a different street, a different job, a different set of reasons. One day I looked beside me and we were walking separate roads, not because we stopped believing, but because we kept growing. I found the old apartment keys inside a winter coat. They opened nothing anymore, but they still carried hope. Your favorite record still exists somewhere in my home. I don't play it very often now. Some songs deserve their own silence. I used to think forever that's true for me. Inside your story too. We grew up between goodbyes, learning what love means. Sometimes holding on, sometimes letting breathe. We grew up between goodbyes, and though our paths divide, every version of myself still carries a little of the way you loved me. The forecast said clear skies all evening. You texted, don't be late, you have to see this. Traffic stood still, red lights, brake lights, a city refusing to move. By the time I reached the hill, the colors were gone, only a pale blue sky remained. You were sitting on the old wooden fence. You just missed it. You whispered, still smiling. So I sat beside you. We watched the empty horizon for another hour. Neither of us complained. Years later, I realized we missed the same sunset in different ways. I miss the colors, you miss the future. You had already begun to doubt. Back then I thought the evening had disappointed us. Now I know it was never about the sunset. It was about you waiting, about believing I'd still come, even after the beautiful part was over. I've seen brighter skies since then, mountains, oceans, cities glowing at dusk. None of them ever felt as unforgettable as that fading light beside you. If I could return, I wouldn't drive faster, I wouldn't chase the perfect view. I'd simply arrive, sit next to you, take your hand and watch the ordinary sky grow dark, knowing that sharing the ending with you was always the most beautiful part. simply happened, driving home too late, missing the highway exit, stopping by the water because the sky looked different than it had that morning. You'd lean against the hood of my old car, arms folded, watching the horizon, as if the sun was telling you something important. I'd ask, what are you thinking? You'd always smile. If I tell you, I'll stop listening. So we stood there side by side, letting the silence translate the light. We were better at sunsets than we were at goodbyes. We knew exactly when to stop talking, but never knew when to stop hurting each other. Never chose sides. They painted us both with the same golden light. Back then I thought the beautiful part was the sky. Now I know it was the way you reached for my hand without taking off the horizon. The sunsets still arrive right on time. The colors still spill across the clouds. Only now there's no one beside me pointing out the first star before anyone find it. I've learned that love doesn't always leave with a slammed door. Sometimes it slips away as quietly as daylight, leaving behind just enough warmth to remember where it had been. The first warm breeze came through the trees like nothing ever changed. The flowers found their way back home, but you never came. The little cafe by the bridge put tables out again. A couple laughed beneath the sun like we once did back then. Spring came without asking if I was ready yet. The world moved on so beautifully while I was learning to forget. When spring forgot your name, it whispered mine instead, telling me that broken things can bloom where tears were shed. When spring forgot your name, the sky turned soft and blue. I finally smiled at April without looking for you. I found the jacket that you loved folded on a chair. It smelled like fresh laundry now instead of your perfume in the air. The streets we used to wander no longer pulled me back. They simply became streets again instead of our old map. I don't remember the exact sound of the promise that we made, only how the evening light rested on your face. Some memories grow quieter, not because they disappear, but because they learn to live without demanding tears. When spring forgot your name, I planted something new, not to replace the love we had, but to watch another season bloom. When spring forgot your name, the birds still fill the sky. I realized hope arrives long before we recognized. If our story had one purpose, it wasn't just goodbye. It taught two ordinary hearts how deeply they could try. Now every April morning feels lighter than before. I still respect the love we shared, I just don't live there anymore. When spring forgot your name, the world became my friend. Some seasons aren't about returning, they're about beginning again. It was never I love you. At the end of every night, you'd stand beside my old car beneath the porch light. You tap twice on the window, wait until I waved, then mouth the same two words before I pulled away. Drive safe. I never knew inside. Something so small. When you said drive safe, you were really saying come back to me. When you said drive safe, you turned an ordinary road into the shortest distance between two hearts. The traffic lights still change at every corner we once knew. The gas station still glows long after midnight. Sometimes I catch myself checking the passenger seat just to tell a story before remembering there's no one there to hear it. The last time we met, you said those words again so naturally. Neither of us noticed they would become the last thing you'd ever give me. I spent months trying to remember our final conversation. It wasn't the goodbye that stayed with me. It was your voice wrapped around those two simple words. Now when friends leave my house, I stand in the doorway until their taillights disappear. Without thinking, I hear myself say, drive safe. Love has a strange way of surviving, not in grand speeches, not in perfect endings, but in little phrases that quietly find a new home inside someone else. So wherever this road has carried you, I hope someone waits by the window until they see your headlights. And I hope before you leave again, they love you enough to say the simplest words as if they mean everything. The sidewalks weren't crowded, just the usual evening rush. People carrying groceries, buses sighing at the curb. The smell of rain still clinging to the pavement. Without thinking, you stepped to the outside, closer to the traffic, further from me. You did it every time. I never thanked you. I never even noticed until I started walking alone. Now every street feels slightly unfamiliar. Not because the city changed, because no one quietly trades places. When a bus comes too close, you always walked on the outside. Such a small habit, so easy to miss while it was happening. Sometimes I wonder how many kinds of love disappear simply because they were too ordinary to recognize. I used to believe love was anniversaries, long kisses, big promises. Now I think it might also be checking the weather before I leave, saving the last bite, waiting until I get inside, remembering how I take my tea. The world keeps searching for extraordinary romance. Meanwhile, the deepest love often passes unnoticed, dressed as kindness. If I ever meet someone new, I hope I don't wait until they're gone to understand. The quiet language of small care. And if someday someone notices that I always choose the outside of the sidewalk, they'll never know I learned it from the person who once made every road feel safe. The storm rolled in this afternoon, the kind you'd always chase. You love the sound of heavy rain on every window pane. I opened up the hallway closet, looking for something warm. That's when I saw your raincoat hanging, waiting through every storm. Blue sleeves, silver buttons, a pocket torn inside. You always said you'd fix it. You never found the time. Outside, the thunder filled the sky. The sidewalks turned to glass. Inside, one forgotten coat still belonged to our past. You left your raincoat here, but took the summer with you. Now every rainy afternoon feels different than it used to. You left your raincoat here, like one unfinished sentence, a simple thing that somehow learned to carry all the distance. I almost wore it home tonight, just to feel you near, then stop before the mirror and saw another year. It wasn't you I needed now, it wasn't yesterday, just one small act of letting go in an ordinary way. So I folded up the sleeves, brushed the dust away, placed it in a cardboard box marked with no names. The rain kept falling softly, the way it always will. It doesn't choose whose heart to break or whose heart it will heal. You left your raincoat here, the closet finally closed. Not because I stopped loving you, but because the story knows. Some things are never taken back, some things are never found, but every season teaches us a different kind of ground. Tomorrow when it rains again, I'll walk beneath the clouds without waiting for another hand to pull the hood back down. You'll always be a season, I'll always be the sky. We shared one beautiful weather, then watched it pass us by. people hurried in every direction. Someone was laughing, someone was running for the last carriage. You stood with your suitcase, one hand wrapped around the handle, the other tucked into your coat. There wasn't a dramatic goodbye, no promises, no tears. Just two people trying to be kinder than their hearts allowed. The announcement echoed across the platform. You smiled, the same quiet smile that had carried us through so many ordinary days. Then you turned and started walking. I told myself not to watch, I watched anyway. Halfway to the train you stopped, looked back only once, not long enough to change your mind, just long enough to let me know you remembered everything I was remembering too. Then the doors closed, the train moved, your reflection stayed in the window for a heartbeat, then dissolved into the passing light. I've stood on many platforms since, welcomed friends, sent family away, watched strangers disappear into distance, but every departure carries a little of yours. People think the hardest part is watching someone leave. Sometimes it isn't. Sometimes the hardest part is realizing that one last glance can stay with you longer than a lifetime of words. You never wrote my name across the midnight sky, never filled the room with grand romantic lines. You never bought the stars or promised me the moon. You simply made the ordinary feel like Sunday afternoon. You warmed my cold hands without a single word. You always saved the corner seat where the morning sun was first. You knew I couldn't sleep when thunder crossed the roof, so you'd leave the hallway light just enough to guide me through. You loved me in small ways, too quiet for a crowd, the kind of love the world ignores but remembers years from now. peel the orange for me, leave the sweetest piece. Laugh before the punchline, because you knew I'd never see it. You'd stop outside the bakery when the window's filled with steam, just to ask if I was hungry, even if we couldn't eat. I never thanked you for the things that had no name, the invisible kindness that held us every day. I thought love was measured by the promises we'd make, not by the quiet rituals we never thought to celebrate. Now I catch myself doing things you used to do, straightening a crooked picture, closing doors against the wind. Maybe love doesn't vanish when two people drift apart. Maybe it hides inside the habits of the heart. If someone someday loves me with the same gentle grace, I'll recognize it instantly, because I have seen your way. You loved me in small ways long before goodbye, and now I understand the deepest kinds of love really make the loudest sound. I never noticed when it started. One morning you became part of the rhythm, the extra toothbrush, the second coffee mug, your shoes beside the front door, your favorite sweater folded over my chair. Nothing arrived with fireworks. Love entered quietly, like morning light finding the same window day after day. You were my favorite habit, not the kind people try to break, the kind they don't realize they're living. You always checked if I'd locked the door. I always reached for your hand when we crossed the street. You watered the plants I forgot, then remembered because you somewhere between laundry, groceries, weekend errands, and sleepy Sunday mornings. Forever started feeling perfectly ordinary. Then one day the house kept all the habits, but lost you. For weeks I still poured too much coffee, still left the hallway light on, still moved over in bed without thinking. The hardest part wasn't the silence, it was discovering how many pieces of my day had quietly learned your name. People say you get used to someone leaving, maybe, but I think something gentler happens. The habits change, the coffee gets smaller, the plants survive, the empty side of the bed stops feeling borrowed, not because love disappears, because it slowly learns a different rhythm. Sometimes I catch myself smiling at the little things you left inside me, and I realize you didn't just become a memory, you became part of the way I live. I The leaves began to change long before I noticed us. Summer had been leaving quietly while we were making plans. You folded your sweater across the back seat of my car, said the air felt colder now, though September still felt warm. We drove with both windows down, watching gold replace the green. Neither of us had the courage to ask what silence meant. Autumn kept your secret until the trees gave in. One by one they let things go. I should have learned from them. Autumn kept your secret hidden in the falling light. You had already left my heart before you left my life. Weeks later I found your scarf behind the bedroom door. It carried no perfume at all, just the scent of early storms. oversized coats. Everyone was finding warmth while I was finding ghosts. I don't remember the last kiss as clearly as the drive. Your hand resting on the window, watching fields roll by. Sometimes endings whisper long before they speak aloud. Love doesn't always shatter. Sometimes it simply grows quiet. Now every autumn morning I walk beneath those trees. Their branches never apologize for becoming what they need. Maybe that's what healing is, not forgetting yesterday, but trusting every changing season to carry us away. Autumn kept your secret until it wasn't one. The leaves all reached the ground, and somehow so did I. But spring has never failed the earth, not even after winter's rain. So I'll keep walking forward, believing hearts can bloom